It's now time for Comic News with Aimee Morgan.
Hello, I'm Aimee, aka Lady Rec, and I'm here doing another of my Transformers comic news and reviews in 5 minutes. Only today it's going to be more like 10 minutes because I have had a lot of news, and since I didn't do a recording last week, I've got plenty of comics. Actually, I have 4 comics to review this week. I have ReGeneration One, issue number 83, Robots in Disguise, issue number 9, and More Than Meets the Eye Annual, which technically counts as 2 because it has 2 issues within it. So comic news bits. Fall of Cybertron, the digital tie-in, has 3 issues out as of this recording. They are available on Comixology for the same amazing price as Autocracy was. So if you didn't get Autocracy, that was $1 each issue. So you can pick that up on Comixology. Baltimore Comic-Con 2012 just took place this last weekend, and IDW Publishing had a panel at this Comic-Con, and there were very few Transformers fans that actually took notes at this place. I don't even know if there was anybody there, that I know of at least, that went to the panel and tweeted about any of the information. But we did get a few tidbits thanks to some of the IDW forum members on the IDW boards. They were able to get us a few little details, and so because of that, I went ahead and quoted them directly. Talking about Robots in Disguise, by issue 15, you'll have a lot of answers and a climatic ending to the first major story arc, and you'll get a lot of answers for why certain characters are acting the way that they are, where people's loyalties really lie, and you'll see the return of at least one long absent Transformers character. So yeah, a few little details about Robots in Disguise. Didn't give us a whole lot, but it seems that issue 15, which will be next year, early spring, will be giving us lots of answers, and we should know quite a few things that are going to be going on, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. The Ain't It Cool website did an interview about Rage of the Dinobots, and it's posted up on several of the main Transformers websites by now, but definitely get a chance to look at it and check it out. It was with John Barber, and we get some really good tidbits about the Dinobots in Prime continuity, so if you're interested in that, you can check that out. The Transformers Multiverse, a new webcomic very similar to Transformers Mosaic, and in fact is going to be the continuation of Transformers Mosaic, is ready to roll out in 1 week. You can check out their stuff on Facebook. I will put links right here, and I will also put DeviantArt links as well. But if you are interested in getting involved, definitely go for it. We've had quite a few people that have gotten their beginnings in the Transformers Mosaic, and I expect that Transformers Multiverse will have the same effect on the fandom. So definitely something to check out. Also, over on the Underbase, we have started our classic reviews of the Transformers Marvel run. We're up to episode 2, so if you are interested in hearing any information about the stuff that Transformers Marvel did back in the day, we are talking about it on a podcast over on the Underbase. And now I will get into my comic reviews. ReGeneration One, issue number 83. The issue rundown is basically we get details on what happened on Earth, how did everything get so bad, and when. The Wreckers find some allies there, and then Megatron gives them and Cybertron a call, mostly to taunt the Wreckers into coming to pick up Cup, who is in bad shape, and to taunt Prime into stopping him, and it works. Optimus Prime is back, and he ain't sitting on his can no more. Rodimus, however, stays behind to keep Cybertron safe, but the Decepticons have other ideas about that. In a word, this issue is set up. to the explosive issue of issue number 85 that has been teased as the get real moment by several of the creative team. The conflicts are great. Fans of the previous Marvel work will get a few nuggets of what's been going on since we last read in Marvel. And of course, we are clearly heading in a nice direction. The pace is building, maybe not as much for some, but for me, I enjoyed this issue. I especially enjoyed that Megatron called Prime out, and that was enough to get him off his duff, because he really needs to get off his duff. Art-wise, the comic issue was rockin'. I find that the whole creative team, from the penciler to the colorist, and the inker. I'm sure I'm missing, the letterer, everybody that's worked on this. It's continuing to make amazing strides and keep the charm of the original work. And I'm loving everything I see. It's a solid 3 out of 5 stars for me. And depending how the payoff is in issue number 85, I'm probably going to rate it higher in hindsight. So definitely pick this up. I'm sorry I don't have any props today. I haven't gotten down to my comic shop. I've been kind of busy with kids and life and everything. So maybe next week. You never know. Next review is Robots in Disguise issue number 9. In the last issue, Ironhide was impaled by the Dinobots as the planet seems to have driven them all a little crazy. This issue, I find out that he ain't dead yet. And neither is Sludge, even though he's lost his dino head. Ironhide spends the rest of the issue trying to avoid the crazed Dinobots while he listens in on a recorded transmission from Silverbolt, as they were sent to go find out what happened to the aerial bots. Meanwhile, Bumblebee, who knows about the time machine on Turmoil's warship, debates what will be done with it when Skylynx returns from dropping off the Dinobots, and Ironhide to inform him and Wheeljack, after crashing, that he's lost them and they're in danger. But because it's nighttime, they can't really expect to go find them, let alone venture out in the Cybertronian wilderness, because it'd be crazy, yo! Rather than let Starscream one-up him on the political totem pole, Bumblebee seeks out help from Blur, who's still not on board with what's going on in the new status quo. But Bumblebee ropes him in by appealing to his Autobot loyalties to friends like Ironhide. Meanwhile, the Khans are spying, and Shockwave has asked a few of them to go on a little mission for him. In the end, Bumblebee and Wheeljack end up on the scene of a theft, which could rock their world. And Ironhide, he finds out the fate of Silverbolt and the aerial bots. Wow, okay, continuity fix central. This issue was amazing, but here's the kicker. Will the ship that was planted a few issues ago continue to play into the storyline in the future? Because I would like to see what Barber would do with that, especially if Shockwave is involved. Pacing was great. It was not so much funny, snappy dialogue, but dang, Bumblebee manipulating Blur like he does. It's just like, oh my gosh. He's learning from pros, but, you know, hey, even RC gets a nice cameo in this, so. But what really makes me love this issue again, John's effortless use of continuity. If you haven't read all of what IDW has published, you're still okay, because there's plenty here to be excited about. Again, this is also the reason why I hope that there's more of a purpose to the ship element, so it isn't just there to fix the continuity error, and for that, I'm rating it a 4 for now. My opinion could very well improve the more I read, and because I don't want to finish Robots in Disguise review without commenting on the creative team, everything looks fabulous. We have the lovely Joanna LaFuente on colors this issue, yet it's a seamless fit. And Andrew Griffith continues to prove why he's drawing on one of the ongoing titles. Great job, guys and gal. Now the More Than Meets the Eye annual. For the first time in IDW's publishing Transformers comic history, we have our first annual. Basically a 2-issue comic. This one, written by James Roberts, gives us a tale about the Lost Light and Ultra Magnus, the duly appointed enforcer of the Terrest Accord, who hasn't smiled in centuries. Until this issue, that is. It's a matter of life and death, and once you read this, you'll understand why. The Lost Light have made it to somewhere. They have come to the doorstep of the Crystal City. Drift's buddies they've been traveling to find, and they have found them. But something strange is happening on the ship as they arrive in orbit around the planet where Crystal City lies. Things previously dead are coming back to life. And they get a visit from the Galactic Council, who claim that Crystal City is deserted. And because of that, Drift comes a little unglued because there are few clues as to what has happened. But that's not their only conflict, as the Galactic Council aren't too thrilled about meeting a bunch of Cybertronians in an area of space that they've annexed. They are even less accommodating in allowing them to check out the planet. Hostilities easily erupt, and the Lost Light finds themselves in the worst-case scenario to date. How they get out of it, you will have to pick up this issue and you'll have to read it. So much happens in this comic. Ceremonies, philosophies of life, death, the beginning of the race. This is cram-packed full of so much. It's regular James Roberts storytelling with great pace, twists, fabulous dialogue, mystery, tension. We get some more things about the characters. It's the complete package with a point in the end. High payoff. I highly recommend it. The only downside, I have to say, is the art. It doesn't pull it off for me. Perspective and proportions are all over the place. Tons of coloring errors. I just don't think this artist had the technical skill to pull off much of what Robert's script asked of him. Some could say that it's just highly stylized. I would say that it doesn't explain a lot of what this comic is lacking in the technical skill that is clearly not there. This is not Livio Ramondelli or even Nick Roach stylized. It's clearly not pulling it off for me. It's just not doing it for me. In some instances, it just comes off looking flat and distorted, and it would be one thing if it was just consistently meant to be like that due to how the style is. But that's not what's going on here. And when the next page the artist is trying to pull off an angle that almost attempts to mirror something that has been done in another Transformers comic by another artist, it just doesn't work for me. So because of that, I'm going to rate this issue a 4 where I would have rated it a solid 5. So I have to say the art didn't work for me at all. And with that, devoted listeners, we will be getting the Robots in Disguise annual next week, so stay tuned for my review of that one. And don't forget to join me on Twitter for more news and Transformers tidbits, because I find lots of stuff from time to time and you don't want to miss out. Of course, I also tweet random stuff too, but I try to keep it fun. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week with my news and reviews. Bye-bye.